All right, ladies. So thanks so much for making the time tonight to come to our monthly meeting. I think probably going forward, we as mentors, we were talking today a little bit about how the meetings are going to go. We found that having so many meetings the first week of the month probably isn't going to be beneficial because it's like too much stuff happening. So I think we're going to move our monthly meetings to the end of the month. And then we're also going to kind of rotate things. So I think everybody's liked having someone else speak but me. So having someone come in, I'm going to look for some other coaches and other people that, we all like to hear from and hopefully set them up to come and speak like Trish is going to tonight. And then the mentors on the team that would like to provide some type of training, we're going to try to rotate our gifts and talents a little bit. And then once every quarter, we're going to just have like a Q&A brainstorm meeting at the end of the month. So that way we can just kind of keep things fresh. You're not hearing me talk all the time, but just really still keeping that unity where we're, meeting once a month. I think even if it's just a few of us, it's still really beneficial. And the girls that do watch the recordings that can't make it, I do find that it is beneficial for them too. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Trish, and I actually have to give Tirza a lot of credit because I met Trish through Tirza because Tirza's telling me all about this girl that she's talking with and how she's like really helpful. And I'm like, all right, I have to get to know who this woman is. So I went and started following Trish as well. And she is basically able to help you just get unstuck, but kind of just really see everything within business, home, and life. But she can tell you what she does way better than I can. So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her take it from there.
Well, Genevieve, thank you so much for having me. It's such a special place to be. You all are awesome. I really enjoy, I always get a lot from our conversations. And so you and Tirza are very special women to me. And so this is an honor to hang out with your people. So thank you for that and trusting that time with me. I am an implementation strategist is the big thing. I also do life coaching where if you have goals in your business, you want to get to a certain spot and it's just not happening, then we have a heart-to-heart. We talk, okay, so what's happening? What season are you in? And that's what I'm going to speak about tonight. Like, what season are you in? What's going on? And let's take a step back and let's try and get objective. I know it's hard when it's our dreams and our goals and our business and our life, but get a little objective because then we can get clarity and sanity and we can enjoy it more. Because I find that usually either it just needs to be a pivot or a tweak, like in your schedule, or saying no to something, or re-navigating some of your priorities, and you can move forward. Or it's a bless and release that needs to happen. It's usually those two ways of doing it. And so I work with women and a lot of busy women that either have a job and they're doing a business on the side, or they're a stay-at-home mom and building a business. Usually they have two big things going on in their worlds. And so I come in, at least two big things, and then I come in and provide some sanity and clarity and love and encouragement. So, because I don't think there's any reason that we ever have to stop our dreams and living towards them. Even if it's like the tiniest of steps, we can always move forward. And so that's part of the whole implementation. So I'm excited to talk to you guys tonight because I sent Genevieve a worksheet. If you don't have it, I think it's probably in your Facebook group. And you guys can look at it and I'm going to walk you through it and we're going to do it together because part of that whole implementation piece that I really believe in, and if you don't have it with you, that's fine. Like you can just use the chat to put in your comments. You can be thinking about it in your brain, do side messages in that chat area. I love that chat area in Zoom. And that, because the key is we can go to a seminar, we can listen to a podcast, we can go to a training meeting, and that's well and good. But then if we don't do anything with it, that's part of the stuck. So I want to talk about mindset around where you're at. What's really beautiful about the direct sales business is you get to do it on your pace. You get to do it where you're at. And I know Genevieve really supports that. And, everyone gets to partner in their journey. And so I'm here to talk tonight about giving you a lot of mindset around where you're at, clarity, and we're going to do that with some action steps so that you can take that piece of paper and go, and then you can talk to Genevieve later and go, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I want to do. And then have peace about it. Because there's three things that, there's three stages we're at in direct sales. And I believe when we come to peace with it and we own it, and this is just also with like a side business, like if you have any kind of business, a handmade business, coaching business is, oh my gosh, adorable. There's three stages. You're either in the growing stage, you're in the side gig stage, or you're a hobbyist. And there's beauty in all three of those. And each person has a different stage. We're on this planet for a long time. And so there's no reason we need to be embracing someone else's path. We're on ours. And so what does that mean? How do you know if you're growing, side gig, or hobbyist? And that is something every single day. And this is where that implementation piece comes in. If you're doing something every single day in your business, even if it's 20 minutes, then you're growing your business. If you are doing something every other day, then classify it as a side gig. And then if you're just getting on once a week to do something, checking in, then you're a hobbyist. And wherever you're at, that's beautiful and that's great. And there's joy in that. And that's what I love about this business model with direct sales is you get to be you in your season and partner with amazing business women and have a beautiful product and a message and a vessel. Because here's the really cool thing. And so I'm kind of jumping ahead because I'll touch on it again. But this is why it's a beautiful vessel. And I don't care where you're at. I think it's amazing. So I know Sseko doesn't really do this, but other companies will, where they just like hit the sales goal, hit the sales goal, hit the sales goal. And you're like, oh my gosh, really? And then there's that comparison mode. When you're a hobbyist, if it's a side gig and you're growing your business, this will happen. It doesn't matter where you're at. When you reach out to someone and you say, hey, so here's what's going on in the business. How are you doing? Would you be interested? Here's this really cool sale. I know you love Sseko. I know you love the sandals. We've got the summer coming up. Can I help you? What happened to me is I was launching something and I reached out to someone who's a great member of my free Facebook group. She wrote back and she's like, no, now's not really the right season. My father-in-law just died. Could you pray for us? If I had not reached out to her, I wouldn't have known that her father-in-law died and I wouldn't be able to pray for her, follow up with her. We've had conversations since then. But if I had not gone and pitched her and shared the opportunity, or however you want to phrase it, invited her, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking of it as an invitation to a collaboration, a partnership, a really cool experience. If I had not sent that, then I wouldn't have known. And then she wouldn't have crossed my path and I wouldn't be able to encourage her and pour into her, which is one of my gift sets. And so no matter what level you're at, I'm faith-based. So God could use you. The world can use you. People come into your path for a reason. So I kind of want to, so it's a little bit in the next steps, but I want to
speak some life into that too, because I think that is one thing where I know the girls, like they hear me say all the time, like just hit the send button. And many times I think, like some of our girls are afraid that like you're going to be interrupting someone's life or that you're going to be almost pushy into their life. Like they're going to enter into the relationship not ready or not at the point that they can. But for many times, if they respond to you in any shape or form, they're responding to you because you've reached out to them and they're giving you the opportunity to then reach back. And if it is something like that, where, someone's, father-in-law died or dad died, or, they're going through a difficult time and they ask, could you, pray for us? Or it gives you the opportunity to say, I'm so sorry, and show that empathy. That is a huge piece of the sales process, of showing that empathy and being able to be like, thank you for responding. I did not know, like really giving that its due justice, because that person's going to remember that the next time around. That is their season, and being able to stand in that season is really important. So I love that Trish brought that up, because you do never know what you're messaging into or calling into, or, but if they do respond, it's a great opportunity for you to show that empathy to someone.
And it really blew me away. So I like to share that one. And that's not the only time. It's happened so many different times. It's really shocked me. And so I like to share that with people because I think, because as we go through priorities and we talk this out, I'm going to take you through my process. Wherever you lie, whether you're doing it every day, every other day, or once a week, there is great seeds and beauty in your season. And I just really like to celebrate that. So we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to go through this process to figure out how to implement goals, because you are in a business. So whatever level you're at, you want to make some money. So how do we do that? How do we make some good cash wherever season we're at and make the best use of our time? And so part of that is getting clear about where Sseko fits in your life. Where does it fit in your day-to-day? So on this worksheet, I tweaked it too. I tweaked it and made it work for you guys, and how to achieve your dreams. And there's this whole exercise and different things that I go through, but I thought we'd make it really simple. And what is your number one priority in business, personal, in your home, and your family? And so go ahead and write those down. And with business, I would get clear on how much money do you want to bring in. You know, if you want to cover dance class twice a year for your kids, that's what, $500 a year? $500 a year. You know, we get real clear on what you see it for you right now. And it can get scary to put those dollar amounts. So it could be an activity. It could be vacation. And then you could put like, what kind of vacation? Is it a Disney vacation or is it camping? Because those are two different price points. So we, like in our family, we have to get really clear. Okay, where do we really want to go? Because that's going to be different price brackets. And then for personal, do you have health? Like for me, I always say health because my health. Do you have, you could have, I work with clients who have a job, like a day job. So that might be your personal, is staying sane at your day job while you're working your side hustle to make it your full-time gig. It could be maintaining your home. Maybe you're working on relationships. You know, this is where, with the number one, the way I define the number one priority is critical mass, where something feels almost broken right now and it needs to be repaired. And if it doesn't get repaired, it's going to derail everything. So if you have a kid who's having a hard time in school, maybe like I have a 3-year-old, so potty training is about to come on the number one priority list for a little bit. But right now it's my marriage and pouring into that. And so I'm going through the love dare. And then that's number one. But then my health is like bumping up. They're kind of competing. But I have to have that number one critical mass. Like if my marriage isn't in sync, then for me, everything else falls apart. So when that gets to a harmonious place, then I can put my health back to number one. And so it's ebbs and flows. I usually think of it in like a 2 or 3 week chunk of time where this is what I'm focusing on and really pouring into with personal. So I do like to share that because people can go, you know. And I do say that in personal sometimes because if I'm off and I'm not making my people in my home a priority, it's just one of those things I balance. Mm-hmm. But there is a whole family, home and family. So if you have a sick parent or you have someone going through transition, that could be where like your kids are coming home from the summer, like they're, that transition will be coming up later. You could have a vacation with spring break coming up. And so that could become a number one priority for a little bit.
Great. I don't know. I love like this part of it because I think this is a great time for everybody to kind of share if they want to share one of their number one priorities, because I feel like that helps. I know it can be scary to like put it out there and speak it, but I think that is a really important piece of it. And I also want everybody to know, like, we want to come along, well, at least I want to come along with you in whatever that number one priority is. So if there's ways that I can help, and I won't speak for everybody on our team, but I think that is the type of culture and who a lot of these ladies are, is we all care a lot about each other. So, I'm going to unmute you, and I'd love to hear, maybe what is your number one priority in one of those areas, except for Christina, who's cooking dinner.
You're in my back pocket.
All right. So I don't know, like if you want to share, Tirza or Jen, do you have a number one priority, in business or in your personal or in your home and your family right now that, you'd want to talk about?
I have total brain fog across the board. I think I'm so scattered that I can't figure out what my priorities are. That's why when I tried to do that, what was that other thing that we were doing last year with Shailene Johnson?
Oh, the 30-day push.
30-day push.
Yeah, I couldn't do it because I could not prioritize things, and I could not set goals. I don't know what I want. It's hard. I can't figure it out. I wish somebody would just tell me what I want.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt that way.
Yeah. I think all of us have felt that way at one time or another. And I mean, that's one of the reasons, like, definitely having someone like Trish to go to talk things out. And, definitely do what I love for you to find somebody like Trish that you feel really comfortable with, but you're all welcome to say, hey, I need time to talk some things out. I'm not going to say that I can fix everything and give you, like say, oh, work on your marriage or, whatever. But I think sometimes it does really help to just talk it out with somebody about like, everything does feel really overwhelming. And that's what's great about Trish is she's really able to decipher, at least when I go to her in those types of situations, what is the one thing that's most important right now to me. Like she won't tell me that it's my most important thing, but she'll be like, well, it sounds like, and she just has a really good way of like pulling that out of you. So, Jennifer, don't think you're alone in feeling that way, but I'll let Trish maybe work some magic and see if she can help a little bit, but
that would be all.
alone.
Sure, let's chat. The first thing I want to encourage you is it takes time, especially if you're at this point where you have if you're just feeling so fogged that it will take, I'd give yourself 3 to 4 months, not to not do anything, but as you're doing stuff, it might not click for a little while, because I've had clients that I've been working with since last August, September, and they're now like really hitting their stride. They're like, oh, wow, like on all cylinders. They've been hitting different strides, but then they're like, oh, wow, this is the stuff we've been talking about for almost 6 months. And I'm like, yeah, it takes time. Like it's habits. So that's a lot of where like the behind the scenes is we're developing habits for implementation. So first of all, give yourself grace and don't expect it all to fix overnight. But I would love to hear, what is it that you feel is miss, and at any point go pass. You just say pass, and we'll just like go to the next, like, because I do kind of, I do ask some questions that we just met. You may not want to answer. Well, what is it right now that, because you work a lot, and so do you have a family and that you care for, and what's on your plate right now? What does your normal week look like?
I just started this new job in October, and I do have 3 kids. One's in college. I have a 13-year-old in 8th grade and then a 10-year-old in 4th grade. And for the last 9 years, I've basically been home with my kids. And I had a part-time job at Michael's, which was like my fun job. I love crafting.
She's amazing.
So, but we needed the extra income, and I started working for the school district at the middle school, and I'm an aide in the emotional support class. So all of our kids have something: anxiety, ADHD, oppositional defiant disorder, Asperger's, some sort of emotional need, on top of various like learning disabilities and stuff. It is I enjoy working with the kids. I love one-on-one with my kids, but it's draining. So I come home from work at like 3:15 and I'm staring at the clock waiting for bedtime. I don't feel like doing anything else when I get home. So it's a struggle for me to eat well, do things with my family, exercise the way I should, and pretty much enjoy anything. It's just hard. So I think the most important thing that I would like is energy. I just need some energy. And yeah, I guess that's it. If I had the energy to do more things, I'd be a happier person.
Okay. So when you get home, what do you do? When you get home, like, what does that look like for you and your kids?
I usually come home and grab a cup of coffee and try to kind of relieve some of the stress from the day. So that first hour that I'm home, or 45 minutes to an hour, I try not to do anything at all. I mean, I'd be happy just sitting and staring at the wall.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about, okay, what are we going to do for dinner? And trying to, get that made, get dinner on the table. And then, I don't know. Then, like I said, all I'm doing is looking forward to going to bed with my book.
Okay.
I feel lazy.
Well, everything's been taken out of you by 3:00. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, by noon, all of it's taken. So you're not lazy. You are fully emptied. There's nothing left. So I understand the feeling of, I get why you're saying you feel that way, but so my question for you, and as I'm thinking about your day and putting myself, it reminds me of like the newborn phase, like, which my kids are 1, 3, and 4. So that was just like last week. But that stage of like, okay, we're in survival mode, and you sound like you're in survival mode. And do you guys have allergies, like food allergies?
No,
Okay.
that I know of.
Okay. Because the one step I believe would be the best is having meals thrown in the crock pot, having a freezer meal done that you could just throw in the oven, and taking away that 2 hours. Because if you are saying that when you get home, you decompress for an hour and then you start thinking about what you're going to do for dinner, and then you have to make it, and then you have to clean up after it. I mean, that's 2 hours of mental and emotional energy that you don't even have anymore.
Right.
So and the reason why I'm wondering is because it would be, if you don't have food allergies, I know it sounds like, oh, it'll be easy to whip it together. My process is what I do what I've been doing for years, because again, newborn phase, survival stage, I'm very familiar with the survival stage. Is we had 10 meals that we did, and I would even just send you mine. It's like so easy, like super simple lasagna, chili, minestrone, and so there's 10 meals, and then 2 nights of leftovers, and then 1 pizza night, and like we do haystacks. It's a nachos with Fritos, but then and then the tacos, but then we have it, like I'd have 14 meal, like 2 weeks, and then I'd repeat.
Okay.
And then the next month I would maybe add in like 2 other options. And so now I have a total of 20 meals, and that's it. It does kind of get boring, but I don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, well, this is what we're doing. And I got the frozen meatballs from the grocery store, and we have spaghetti 2 to 3 times a month. We have breakfast 3 times a month. We have pancakes. And so as I'm listening, I'm like, what would it feel like for you if you got those 2 hours back? Is my thinking.
Yeah. I have to say something here. That's something that I was really struggling with, and I work from home, so I was like, why can't I get a meal on the table? For goodness sakes, it's ridiculous. But I get what you're saying about the time of like, okay, now I want to decompress, but now I have to think about what am I making? And Trish had shared this in one of our groups, and what I did, because you have kids my kids' age, I went and asked them what were their favorite meals and listed out like what were my husband's favorite meals, what were the kids' favorite meals. And by the time I had the list of their favorite meals, it was almost 30 some meals. So I just cut that in half, and that's what I rotate now, because then no one's complaining because you know how that is, Jen, with the teenagers, the kids, there's no one complaining then when it is made. But I try to prep it either on the weekends when I have extra time and I'm not working and drained from working all day, or I try to make sure that it's all prepared for the next morning before I go to bed at night. I just get it out and make sure that it's ready. But it does make you feel so much freer when that time at night isn't like, oh, what are we having to eat? And the cleanup part.
And I've done this for my breakfast since I started working. I've made little like egg muffins and oatmeal cups and stuff like that, so that I don't have to worry about that, because getting up at 5:30 in the morning is awful for me. I'm not a morning person, and it's not getting any better. So I at least have those that I could just zap in the microwave and then like run. But yeah, I could definitely add some freezer meals and stuff to the time that I'm putting into making my breakfasts. I could do that too.
Yeah, it sounds like it's such a simple thing. Like you should, like when we were going over this and I was saying about meal planning with my kids, I'm like, I should know how to do this. Like it seems like it's like so easy, but when you're in that state of feeling so overwhelmed about everything, it is nice to have someone kind of like what Trish said, just kind of, we can make this really simple, and you're taking 2 hours of your night when you're exhausted, So if you're already doing it with your breakfast, then I would definitely say that might help a lot, Jen, for your evenings to feel a little bit freer for you.
And this time of year is rough. I don't know if I told you this, but I volunteered to ski at ski club with a girl that has autism on Thursday night. So on Thursday, I have a 14-hour work day, because I go straight from the middle school over to the high school and hop on a bus and go to ski Round Top and ski with this girl as her personal care assistant all night. And I don't get home until like 10:15.
Wow.
And I'm packing everything up to take with me for ski club on Thursday. So
Right.
that's rough too. But 2 more weeks and then that's over.
Yeah, I think start with something small like what Trish said. And, that meal thing could turn into, I do it because you have kids my age, get those kiddos in the kitchen with you, helping you. Like that's what I do on the weekend with little Dennis, is we kind of prep some of the meals for the week. And he seems to enjoy that, so.
Well, that's cool.
Something like that could help too, is get them involved in some of it too. Thanks for sharing that, hon. I know when you went back to work, I was like, that whole adjustment and change is a hard thing, but definitely don't feel like you're going through it alone.
Yeah, and I see all the posts and everything from Sseko, and I glance at it, and that's usually as far as I've been getting. Although I did book a show today for April, so I have something on the books.
Yay! I'm so glad, because the one thing that I'm going to just really speak a lot of life into is I've been at shows with Jen, and Jen does an amazing job, and she really shares her heart. And that was the one thing that, I knew that Sseko was going to take a back burner because you needed to adjust to this entire new life and the waking up in the morning. When you told me how early you were waking up, I was like, oh, Jennifer. But, that's a big adjustment. So, I love that you're going to be, and I see little bits here and there, but don't ever feel like, you have to stay on top. It's like what Trish says, there's seasons. And if it's a hobbyist right now or a side gig in the later spring, that's completely fine because you'll be off in the summer, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Look at her face. Yes.
Then. So I'm busy over the summer.
Yeah. So good. Was that helpful for Trish to kind of speak into that a little bit?
Yeah, and I would actually like to talk to her some more, like without taking up everybody else's time.
She's going to give everybody access to her page and give you guys some information at the end. So definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for being so open.
Jennifer.
And yeah, you have your season survival is like, it really does remind me of the newborn phase. Honestly, it's staring at the wall.
Big changes. That's what it is. It's big changes. And going from being home with your kids for 9 years to I'm going to get up at 5:30 in the morning, and take care of other people's kids all day and then come home and try to take care of my own. That's a huge life change. So, definitely I can imagine the drainage and the needing for a cup of coffee and the stare at the wall for a little while at the end of the day. Awesome. All right. What about Tirza or Christina? You can unmute yourself if you have a priority that you would like to share with Trish.
My priority this month is to pursue my purpose, which means finding it. So I'm going through the Why Discovery course with Genevieve.
Yes.
And taking steps to find my why. And I mean, Jennifer, when you talk about wanting people to tell you what you should be doing, what you should prioritize, I feel like I've gone through like most of my life not knowing what I should do or if I'm doing the right thing or anything like that. So this is a fun process, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's getting fun. I'm enjoying it more now than I have at other times. So I'm working on getting my why and also getting back into business, kind of jump-starting my Sseko business because I kind of fell off the edge towards the end of last year, just feeling a lot of overwhelm with all the things going on with busyness of the season, with my family, with business, and just decided to step back a little bit and at least not push myself and not really pursue new avenues and reach out to customers. So I'm getting back into it and really enjoying it, but have a lot of work to do to catch back up.
Tell everybody your exciting thing that happened today.
Oh yeah, so I have a Facebook party going on right now, and one of the girls who was invited to the party had sent me a message, I guess this morning, on how to order, and so I just posted the ordering information to her, sent her a message about it, and she wrote back this afternoon saying that she just loves everything about it. She has an Etsy shop that she does, and she loves things with purpose, and she asked if she could sign up as a consultant. So, well, that was unasked for, but okay.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I was really excited to get your message. And I think that that's just a testament to putting your head back in the game to an extent too.
Really?
Because I think your customers can sense it. They can feel it when that spark is relit too. Yeah. But, I'll definitely let Trish speak into getting back in the game because
getting back in the game. It's definitely been definitely a dormant season. And I love the thing with seasons because I've been reading about that too. And it's okay to have different seasons. And a lot of my mindset right now is recognizing that, I have been in like the dormant season, the winter season, where it's just rest and recover to gear up for this more busy season. And I know that in direct sales in our company and every company, anything online that you see. There's so much of a comparison game with what you're doing versus what other people are doing, and hearing other people's achievements and successes, and not, or like, it's hard to not feel like, oh, I should be doing that, or I wish I had what they did, or I wish that I were as successful or had the time to do it, or, hey, they're a working mom too. Why can't I do everything that they're doing? But really it's just a constant reminder that, I'm doing what I can do, and that is enough. And I thought of this mantra today. I was thinking of Jeanette and her mantra Mondays. I was like, I'm doing what I can do, or what I can do is what I should do. And it's not like I'm trying to bust my butt trying to do all this stuff that I can't do physically or mentally or emotionally. Like, if it's something that I can do, then that's what I should do. I shouldn't be trying to do all the things that I really can't do. And so that is a little reminder that I had for myself today. But I am overall enjoying this season of being reignited and reconnecting, and have some excitement for the business and for what's going on. And I also feel like I'm connecting with people in my real world that I actually see and get to visit with. So I'm enjoying that too.
So with you reintegrating and getting back in, reigniting, is there a particular overwhelmed spot or stuck point, whether it's personal or home and family, or even with the business, where you're just kind of like, okay?
Yeah, every now and then I do kind of see the edge of that overwhelm again, where it's like, I don't push myself as much as I could. Like, we just had a booking blitz, and I worked really hard the week before it, and then the first week of it. And then it was like, I just had this block where it was like, I wasn't following up with people. I wasn't reaching out to any more people. And I had this plan to connect with more people, and I just wasn't doing it. I wasn't pushing myself to do it. So I do have these blocks sometimes where it's like, I know what I need to do, but I don't ever see in my mind, like, this is the important thing to do. This is my non-negotiable. This is the frog that I have to eat. And I just really need to do this to get to the next level. I usually kind of just stop right before then. And I'm like, it was good enough. Like, I can get by without really doing this stuff. But I know in the long run, it's not the best, but.
Well, so my question there, just lightly tapping into, not going deep or anything, is, do you stop because you legit have a lot of things on your plate? Like, there really physically isn't, like you said, like, there really physically isn't time? Or is there some mindset, self-doubt, I don't want to be too successful, the whole money thing? I know people have, money.
I've been hearing that one a lot lately, but no, I don't believe that I have that.
Okay.
I have that fear of being too successful.
Okay. No, that's great.
Yeah.
And then, so is the other part, so here, I'm glad you're going through the discovering the why with Genevieve, because my other thing is, are you really not that passionate about it? Because if it's just good enough, honestly, like, I mean, that's because I've been in a direct sales company and I love the product. I love the people. It wasn't, I was like, okay, I have to walk away because it's not worth it for me to put in the extra hours. It was like, the payoff wasn't there for me, as Genevieve would say, because she teaches me all these fun words.
Yeah, she does.
But I wonder, is the payoff not big enough for you to, and you don't have to answer that. You don't have to, like, cause that's like deep, and I promise I wouldn't go deep, but that is, but if it's good enough, like, oh, I did good enough.
Yeah.
It's But
I
you
just
could
always
legit have like,
I feel like I'm always just procrastinating. Like I just put off what I don't feel like doing. And
okay,
so I always assume, oh, well, tomorrow I can get to that, or let me wait until the day before our booking blitz ends to reach out to the next person. I just procrastinate and put so many things. Like I know it's there. I know that I need to do it, and I just keep putting it off.
okay.
I think that the like, because Tears knows I'm a procrastinator as well. So, I think that the things that I end up procrastinating are those things that even though I know that there is a result in doing them, they are just the things that I just highly dislike doing.
Mm-hmm.
And good night, sweet pea. Like with the booking blitz, and I was really honest and very genuine with our team this time around, is I hate sending those messages. It's physically painful for me. So the only thing that pushes me to do that is because I know the result of me doing it, and I have to continually remind myself, this is your result. And I tell myself the statistics, 20% of them will respond to you, 10% of them will say yes to you. If I don't keep reminding myself of that, and then reminding myself of really what this has done for my life and introduced me to all these amazing women, and we work for amazing people, if I don't keep reminding myself of those things, I also get stuck in that too. But Tirza can also totally say if she's not passionate about Sseko, even though we're recording. But, sorry. Tirza, I would say by far her blood is probably more Sseko-fied than many of us. So, but that's really I think you're right, Trish. That's something that you have to think about too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it might be reconnecting. I think it's like our faith. We go through doubting seasons, we go through questioning, and that's totally fine. And I didn't mind asking you because I know you're a true Sseko person. And I mean, you're going to Africa for crying out loud. I mean, that's crazy. It's awesome. It's so exciting. So it was more of what is it? Is there?
Mm-hmm. Well,
it was because I do think you're all in with Sseko, but there's a block.
Well, I think, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's, I don't know if it is just still kind of coming off the season of overwhelm where it's I still, every now and I feel like I'm more easily pulled into that overwhelm now than I was last year.
In the fall, we had a lot of changes.
And
I feel like that was when a lot of us, even myself and Tears and I had talked about this, is there were so many changes, from our website to product to how things were set up to all of those things. And because we're a very young company, it was very hard for all of us to keep the information in control. And I'll be honest, there was a point where I couldn't keep up. So I was shutting things off, because we all have lives. Jennifer just changed jobs, at that point. So, that was difficult. Christina had moved. Tears works a full-time job, and it was a lot. So I think that at that point, that was when a lot of us were just there's so much going on, and we were all trying very hard. And then it was there's too much.
Yeah. And I'll say that it wasn't just overwhelmed with Sseko. I mean, there was I really found at the end of last year that it was there's just so much coming at me from social media channels and from emails, from courses that I had signed up for groups that I was a part of, for email lists that I had signed up for. It was just constant barrage of information and of stuff that I needed to learn and things I didn't know and people I wanted to listen to and learn from. And it's just, I had to recognize that it was too much. I can't focus on all these different areas all at one time. I had to cut out of a lot of those things. I unfollowed groups. I unfollowed teachers who are good, but who aren't teaching something that I needed right now. I had to unsubscribe from email lists that weren't serving me, the ones that just were filling my inbox and that I was deleting anyway because I didn't have time to read them. So just recognizing that there's an endless source of information out there, endless people who are trying to teach you, and they all have very valuable things to share, I'm sure, but you can't learn everything all at once. I mean, you can maybe listen to it all at once, but you're not going to understand it, you're not going to remember it, and you're not going to implement it
Right.
If you're listening to all of it. So I had to cut down on a lot of that and be really intentional with who I was listening to and what I was reading, and recognizing that I didn't have time for all of it. And I think it was just all of that going on at the same time. It's just like, I'm kind of more overwhelmed with social media in general versus just Sseko stuff.
Right. I agree. Well, as you get back into it, because it sounds like you're in that reigniting, and it sounds very normal.
Yeah.
And so because I know you set goals and you know how to get there and all those kind of things. So I would encourage you, the next time you hit the block, you may have already heard this because you do a lot of professional development, is that low level of anxiety. Have you heard about this before?
No, I don't think.
When we're going for goals and we're going to push ourselves outside our comfort zone, like Genevieve said, sending those things makes her physically sick. I'm putting myself out there to network and connect, and it makes me physically sick every time because I just don't want to do the rejection. But to close is not, like, to invite someone to be part of my opportunity doesn't make me sick anymore, but to so that ties into like this low level of anxiety that when we're building a business, pouring into our marriage, going after a goal is part of our being. That whole calm and peace and tranquility that I feel is shoved down us. I feel like it's like, oh, you have to feel this way. You have to be at peace. You have to be balanced. And you can be. And you can live a life of that. I feel it multiple times during a day. But when I'm pushing towards a goal and I'm pushing outside my comfort zone and I'm going after something new or different or the next level. So if you're you're reigniting and you're going after a booking blitz and you're getting back into things, there's going to be a low level of anxiety. And that happens because it's just a natural part of business and growth. And when I realized that wasn't an indicator of me being insane and a bad mother or a bad wife or irresponsible with my time, that it was actually just part of a state of being. Like, this is our body's response to growing and pushing ourselves and going after it. It's like, oh, okay. And I am able to find peace and harmony and all those beautiful things, but that's only a piece of it. And so I don't know if that helps at all, because I would feel this guilt because I'm like, well, I have some anxiety. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Mondays and Tuesdays, I feel very overwhelmed every single week because Mondays to Wednesdays are my push hard days. But then Thursday and Friday, I shut off everything. I hang out with my kids. We do the homeschool. Saturdays, I take off. So Monday to Wednesday, there is a level of overwhelm, even though I know I'll get through it and we'll be good. I have my schedule set up. Like, I've got it mapped out, but I still have that level. It's a weird roller coaster.
Yeah.
Did any of that speak any kind of truth, though? That's the thing. Like, I can tell you this, but if it doesn't like ring true to Tears' heart, then
I don't know that I felt the guilt.
Okay.
But I would understand, the low level anxiety could make sense. Yeah.
I'm excited for you. I'm not sure what your stuck point is, except for pushing through that block. But I mean, if you don't want to, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I don't know. I think it's that going through that why is going to be really.
I think, finding the purpose will really give me a reason to push past the block. Because I think I just need an incentive.
Well, and I think the other thing too that Tears is doing is she's doing that happiness project with the checklist. And I have noticed a difference in Tears' just demeanor with like she just knows this is what I need to get done today. And she's not I do feel like she feels like if that isn't on my checklist, it's not necessarily something I need to worry about. You know, if it comes in and it's one of those, main things that are really important to me, great. If my checks don't happen today, they're going to happen tomorrow. I think that checklist really did. I mean, I just have seen that in a little bit that you've been doing that.
Oh, cool.
That it seems to be a little bit of a help, in that
I'm
regard.
enjoying it. It does add more purpose to my days, I think.
Because she's a learner, and that's what I think what last year is like, you're so much to learn. And I think the checklist has really given you a way of saying, okay, this month I'm focusing on this, I'm going to learn this. And then next month, I don't need to worry about that because I'm going to be learning something new. And it's kind of giving you that okay.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So
yeah.
I don't know if she's stuck, but I think that she's doing good. Just as her friend, I'm going to say that
I'm in the process of getting unstuck.
Christina,
well, apparently you heard all that because Jen needed to hear it. So
good. Oh, good.
So,
yes, I think
thank you for letting me share that.
Christina, what about you, girlfriend? Are you able to talk?
Sure.
Do you have
well, listen, I need a therapy session. This is not a joke.
Oh.
So I don't really know what to say right now because I'm not like seriously not kidding. Like I need a therapy session. So we'll just maybe move on with somebody else.
Okay.
I'm having a rough day today. I'm having a rough time.
You're having a
in
rough
general.
day?
Having a rough.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be off in a couple of minutes so you guys can have your like normal Sseko team. And then you can.
It's like
in here.
For Sseko, I mean, and I have no problem sharing how I feel with the group, but it's been an hour and I don't want to take up another hour of people's time. So, but for Sseko, I do have goals. I want to, I would like to have a couple of people under me so that I'm in the new, I apologize for the piano in the background. Well, I'm sidetracked. Bring it back in. Okay. Yes, there's the mentor fellow. I don't want to be the mentor fellow. I want to be. I think it's the star fellow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would like to have 2 people under me, and I realize that's a more realistic goal than selling $60,000 in a year because I want to go to Africa for free. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So
Starfellow. Go
ahead.
I was going to explain what Starfellow is to Trish if you didn't have anything else.
That's it.
So Starfellow is to have $750 in sales 3 months, I think, correct? If I look at it correctly. And referring people onto our team, her team. And then once she would take the training, she would be receiving that commission. It's kind of like the first stage into building a team now. So Christina is amazing at what she does in sharing Sseko, so I don't doubt it, but I definitely know Trish, she has a great way of breaking things down, so I'll leave it to you to talk a little bit more about it.
I'm going to put myself on mute for just a moment. You could feel free to talk.
So what is it?
Beautiful girls.
So what is it that? Sorry, hold on.
I'm on West Coast time, so it's like dinner time right now. So the kids are like asking me all these questions. Okay, go ahead, Trish.
Hi. Sorry. So Okay, so you want to be a star fellow?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. So I generally don't, I mean, I can speak to this very easily. I usually like to find out what the company has, because I know a lot of companies will break this down. This is how much you have to earn a month to do this. And so not sure what Sseko's training is on this, and I don't like to step on the company's
Well,
toes.
this is all brand new, Trish. So we just got a new compensation plan in January. So this is all new. So we're basically starting from scratch to an extent again.
Okay.
So basically her main goal, which she's pretty much done for the first stage of it, is to get those parties so that her sales total is the total that she needs. And now it's really just discovering who those people are that she's going to invite in to join her, so that she has those referrals so that she can take, because I really don't doubt Christina with her sales. When Christina has her game hat on, that's never an issue. You know, and I think it's just really getting her maybe some tips or tricks on like inviting people in, maybe. What do you think, Christina?
Yeah. Just let me put a kibosh on the piano playing for a second. Yes, that's what I need help with. And then I'm going to put myself on mute.
I'm going to do a quick version because I do have to get off for another client. So message me. I'd be happy to go into more detail, but these are the things that have really helped me that I can share quickly. And they do move you forward. And that is and I'm sorry, I hate that I have to go because you guys are amazing. I just want to hang out here all night. So the one trick is to have a list of people and be shameless about it. You know, just have a list of, if you're looking for 2, I'd have a list of 20 to 30 people that you think would be an amazing Sseko fellow who you'd want on your team, someone you want to talk to every single day, because they will talk to you every single day. And so someone that you really believe in, that you think is a great human being, I don't care what they're doing right now. You put them on that list. You like them. You think they're a great person. And then nurture that relationship every month. Do touches is what I call. You check in how they're doing, see how life is going. And then what I did when I first started inviting people was specifically for direct sales. I didn't care, and that's how I did it. Was I picked people that I just thought were amazing and had a gift set to talk to other humans, cared about people. And so what I did is I wrote them a letter because I needed to be very genuine and caring, and I'm very picky as well. And so I didn't want to just have anyone on my team. And so I wrote them a letter and I said, hey, I want you to know that I've been thinking about you. I'm growing my team and I think you'd be an amazing asset. And I would call out like 2 qualities about them. And I'd say, I don't know if the timing is right. I don't know what's going, I don't know, but I would hate to not ask you because I would love to work with you. And I think this would be an incredible journey together, a great experience. And then I would leave it at that. And I didn't lose any friendships. I mean, they're like, thank you for thinking of me. Like, no, but thank you. Like, they were just so happy to be thought of. And so that is how I did my first asks, because I needed to open that door. And it's still a lot how I write my notes or my emails or my messenger. I like voice messenger to just, hey, how are you doing? How are your kids? How's life? What's going on? And it's a great way to connect. And also use that same verbiage of, hey, I'm growing my Sseko team and I think you would be amazing. Are you open to chatting about it? I would love to talk to you about it. And just leave it at that. And then if you don't hear anything, who cares? Send them a note. Forget you sent it. Like, I go into like the forget I sent it and like, so how are the kids? Or what are you doing this summer? You guys have vacation plans? And then if I still really think they'd be a great person, I'll follow up in another month or 2 and say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm still thinking about you. I know life is busy. And when you are upfront about it, like, hey, I think you would be awesome, because you want to go after people that you know would be awesome. You don't want to, you have something so beautiful to offer And if you are dynamite in sales, they are so lucky to be on your team. Like, you will teach them, you'll train them, you will mentor them. So you have something incredible to offer, along with the fact that it's Sseko and the product and you believe in it. But you, as Christina, have something beautiful to offer. And so if you think they would be a great fit, until they tell you, Christina, knock it off, don't talk to me about this ever again, you go, oh, my bad. You can ask them, I'd say like once a quarter, just say, hey, have you thought about it? And of course, feel it out. But I mean, like, if you send a message and they don't respond, you can ask, you can follow up in the asking and just letting them know you are serious. Like, I really do think you'd be amazing at this. Just wanted to let you know. And they could ignore you because of all the things, like, there's so many reasons. And the example I like to use is not for joining my team, but for a hostess. I had one gal, college friend, and I sent her, it was a third message because I said, okay, 3 no's. I have to have 3 no's until I let someone go, and until I just like move on. And I really thought, I mean, she loves the product. She's great fit, great fit for a hostess, all the things. And it was a third one. And it had been once in October, one in November, and then once in January. And the January was, all right, I'm doing this booking blitz. I'm going to push myself outside my comfort zone. Fine. But I think she'd be great. I'm going to send it. She's going to hate me forever. But I'm sending it. And I had my genuine note, which I know Genevieve gave you all, which is like her style, which, oh my gosh, is amazing. And she wrote back, I am so sorry I didn't respond the first time, the first couple of times. I meant to. A hostess apologized. Like, it was great. So, and then we set it up and it was wonderful. So I think when you really care about the person, it just changes everything. And it might take a while for them to really believe you. So, but again, that's just like a sliver. Yeah. So I don't know if that's helpful, but the tracking and the following up forced me to get comfortable and really own the fact that, you do have something to offer as Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, I love that, because that's a lot of, actually 2 of those things they're doing kind of like a referral challenge right now. 2 of the things that they had sent out were, make you a list of your top 10 warmest leads. And we all kind of got hives. Actually, Christina got real hives when it was sent out. And, like the other one was write a personal letter to, someone who you would be, interested in joining your team. And I think that is a really genuine way of doing that. So I'm glad that you said something about that, because that's something special. Not everybody sends, cards or notes in the mail anymore. So
no, but you're really good at doing that.
I'm getting better.
That is so awesome.
So I really appreciate Trish. I mean, there's definitely so much more on her page, her time blocking piece. We could have you come back and do that, or if you'd like to set up a time with Trish, what do you want me to post in the group for everybody to find you?
Sure. I'll go over the worksheet real quick. That way
everybody knows how to do it.
Yeah, just to kind of close it out, especially for those on the replay. So for the time block, when it's your number one priority, something I train on is set aside time every day. If it's actually your number one priority, find time in your calendar or ask the question, is this really my number one priority? And that just it takes a long time to get to where you can really be clear about your priorities. But that's a first step is, I don't actually have time. For example, I like to share this with people just so they know how serious I am. I get up at 5:00 in the morning. I am twice a week. I'll be getting up at 4:30 because I'm that serious about serving and the way I'm serving. But I also am a stay-at-home mom and I'm a homeschool mom. So I want that time and I'm really focused on it. To have a 90-minute block, or else I'm not a good person. It's not good for anyone. Do not recommend that. It's taken steps. It's taken 14 months of steps to where I can get clear. I started off with, do I have 20 minutes a day to dedicate to my business or to my marriage or my fitness or enter, whatever your number one priority is. And okay, the only time I have is if I get up a half an hour before the kids. Jen, this is not you. This is you meal planning and getting those 2 hours back. So your first step is not this. Your first step for this is doing the meals on Saturday or Sunday. Like that would be, and then you get those 2 hours. But finding time in your week finding time in your week or your day where, okay, it's going to take 2 hours to get this done. So for meal planning, the grocery store and everything, I'd say more than 2 hours, unfortunately, but maybe like 2 days, you've got your 2 hours here and 2 hours at the grocery shopping and then the prepping. If I'm really serious that this is going to be my number one priority, I'm going to dedicate 2 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday. And I'm going to get this done. Inviting people to be on your team. All right, this is a priority. I will find 30 minutes every week to just get it done so I can throw up and get it over with. But I'm going to send out those 10. And it'll happen on Wednesday before I go to bed. And Tirza will keep me accountable because she's the goal-setting queen. And that is going to happen, for Christina. So it doesn't have to be every single day. It doesn't have to be like my insane thing. But it's a picture of, if it really matters, you'll find a way. And if you have more questions about that, a specific thing, that's kind of my sweet spot, is the one-on-one. And so I'd love to talk to you, because then I can just really soak into you and like be creepy, like in tune with you. And then, so that's a big way to find out like, oh, maybe that's not my priority. It's kind of like that super secret part of that. And then the last part is to nurture your business, and because something that we talked about was empowering you ladies to start an engaging environment with your pages and things like that. So I wanted to encourage you is, if you are in the very like survival stages, I'm thinking of you, Jen and Christina, not really knowing where you're at, but I hope to, is 30 minutes of personal development every day. So on your way to work, in the car, soak in some awesomeness. Tirza has great stuff for this. I know with that happiness project, I'm like, just get that on there. It's just been really neat to see that for her. And then, so to develop an engaging environment, first is to pour into yourself. So take in personal development. That has nothing to do with Sseko, but limit it to 30 minutes. Pick one industry leader, one book, one topic, just one thing, and just laser focus in on that, and just soak in some awesomeness for you. And then post daily. So some ways to develop an engaging environment. Jen, this is for you down the road. This is not now. I just say that because I'm like, oh, I can't even imagine, like my brain would explode. But post daily, go live weekly. And this is for you guys, no matter what stage you're in, which is 20 people that you like and you want to pour into. That's, that could be someone from a year or two from now, they might join your Sseko team. But just 20 people that you like and you can reach out to daily. For Jen, you know what? That could be the parents of your students. Like, I don't know if you interact with them. It could be because you're an aide, it could be someone you cross paths with at the school. But 20 people that you just are on your radar of caring about, and just saying something nice to, or smiling. And that gets you in this mindset of sales and approaching and conversation, to where then when you can do that, it's really cool how this thing happens when you get to seeing every person that crosses your path, and you're able to just say hi, or how's your day, and do that small chat, which I used to really not like. I didn't see the value in it. But when I did this exercise and followed through with it, I realized, oh, I can talk to people and figure out if I would be a good fit, or who do I know would be a good fit. Like, there's some people I'm like, you need to go talk to Genevieve. She's your woman. You need to go and hang out with her. But I wouldn't know that if I didn't have that ability to just do small talk. So 20 people, and that's, average is about one a day in a month, because, grace, got to have some time, days you're going to forget. And then I would have a list of 10 people that you want to join your team, and nurture that list. And if you really want them on your team, don't ever cross them off your list, because you just never know when that door might open. And they could go join another company, and then still, if you're like, oh man, she'd be amazing, keep her on your list, because we just don't know what'll happen in life. And so that is, those are your next steps. So with the, so next steps, and so that you don't freak out, pick one, is what I generally tell people. With that list of 5, so those of you on the replay, I've given you the ideas behind it and the mindset, and you can do any, like these apply whatever level you're at, wherever you choose to apply Sseko. Pick one and yeah, take that next step for you.
Because I think that's a big testament to like where you started off at, is like deciding for yourself. Are you a hobbyist? Are you doing this part-time? Or are you doing this as your full-time gig? You know, and if you're doing this as a hobbyist right now, which is totally fine for your season of life, then Jen, let's get that meal planning going, girl. And, you know, do that party in April and just pick one of these things where you're gonna, you know, maybe you're just gonna do some personal, like for you stuff, you know, a development thing, whatever, or smile at people all day at work, or come home and try to still smile at your kids and your husband. You know, like maybe that's all that you can do during that season, and that's completely fine. You know, if it's your part-time gig, maybe pick 2 things on that next step list, you know, and if it's that, you know, you're going to go gung-ho, then maybe you try to do 4 to 5 of these things during the week. But I think that that's the really beautiful thing about Trish, about working with Trish. And I know Tirza like had soaked her up for almost a year before I even jumped on board. It's really great to be able to work with someone that's super calm and able to find where you're at. Because we all are in those different seasons, and sometimes you just need someone to decipher where it is that can make the most impact right now, you know. And that's what I find Trish does. She has really mad skills in that area. So
Thank you. You're awesome.
We will let. I think Trish, are you gonna? What would you like me to do?
So I will send you the link. I'm going through a price change for everything. So all of my programs are off my website right now because that is changing. However, because I love Genevieve and Tirza, they're such a blessing, and you ladies, I'm sending Genevieve a link to my course. It is a 10-day course, and you're getting the previous price, which is $29. And it's a 10-day course, and it goes from getting you unstuck. We go over the basics, you know, like clearing out your brain, going through how to get organized. Where do I really need to spend my time with social media? How do I do that? What's my branding so that you have a voice? So if you have any questions about that, let me know. But I'm going to send the link to Genevieve. It'll take you to the really basic checkout page again, because everything's down right now, but I just want to make sure and keep that up and send it to her in case you guys want it. That's good through Sunday. At that point, all of that is changing. So if you are interested, don't hesitate to send me a message. Ask Genevieve and Tirza if it's would even be a good fit, you know, those kind of things. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also revamping my business page. So it's ghosted right now because I need to go through and overhaul it. But you can just find me, Trish Russell, on Facebook, and we'll hang out, and then just private message me. And so all that stuff is coming back up online. I know it's kind of crazy, but
no. And I mean, Trish has a lot of value, so that's why she's going through this transition with her business. She definitely offers her people. I've been involved in some of her groups, doing some sales training with girls that are in all different types of direct sales or personal, you know, businesses. And she really does help the gamut of different seasons of life women. So, you know, it's highly valuable from what I've seen for not just myself, but for the other women that are there. And definitely Tirza could give you a good testimony for Trish. But I hope you all enjoyed this that are here, and the people who get to watch it on the replay. That I love that all of you are so open. That is so important for everybody. Like Jen, girl, I know all about the meal thing. Like that, it seems like it's such a little thing, but it's not. you know, and, you know, for Christina's lighting her fire again, but she also runs her own business too. She has a doula business and she's doing Sseko. You know, so, you know, definitely they both have a gamut of stuff, and Tirza is picking up she's pedaling a little bit faster. So I know that can be a little bit overwhelming, but I think all the girls that watching the replay are going to see pieces of themselves. So I hope that this will help them also. But thank you, Trish, so very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, girls, we'll let Trish go. I'm going to stop recording.